Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to start our first chapter, Computer Software and Languages. In this chapter, we are going to discuss 5 types of computer languages, the computer software and its types, and also the number system. The computer language can be divided into 4 categories. The low-level languages, high-level languages, 4th generation languages, and 5th generation languages. In total, there are 5 computer languages, which are 1st generation languages, 2nd generation, 3rd generation, 4th generation, and 5th generation. But whenever we are categorizing these languages, there will be only 4, because the 1st generation and 2nd generation will comes under the topic low level languages. Okay, this 1st generation and 2nd generation is commonly known as low level languages. Software is defined as a collection of computer programs containing the instructions about how, when, and what a computer has to do. The software can be stored in any of the computer storage devices. The software is used by a computer can be classified into 2 sections: system software and application software. The system software consists of operating system, language processors, utility programs, and device drivers. And the application software we can classify it into 2: general purpose software and customized software. So first let's discuss about system software. System software is the type of software that is developed to operate and control the computer hardware. It also acts as a platform for the application software. Application software and its types. The application software is the type of software that is used by a computer to do tasks given by the user. And these tasks are other than the starting and running of a computer system. There are 2 types of application softwares: general purpose software and customized software. Here we are going to discuss about the decimal numbers, binary numbers, and the conversion between decimal number system and also binary number system. First, let's discuss what is decimal number system. As all we know, all numbers are formed using 10 single digits from 0 to 9. This number system, which uses 10 single digits for the representation of higher numbers, is known as decimal number system. And our second number system is called binary number system. As we discussed, we know a computer can understand only machine language, which is in the form of zeros and ones. All the data in computer is expressed in the term of 2 single digits only, that is 0 and 1. 0 represent the off stage and 1 represent the on stage. This number system is known as the binary number system. How to convert a decimal number to binary? Let's check with an example. Here we have the number 20 and the base also we can see here it is 10. So we can easily recognize it is a decimal number. So here we want to find out the binary equivalent of 20. So whenever we need to find out the binary equivalent of a decimal number, we have to divide. We have to divide that particular number with 2. Okay, so I will show you. First, the number is 20. So divide 20 by 2. So we will get 10. There is no remainder for 20 when we are dividing it with 2. So if there is no remainder also, we have to write it in the rightmost corner. Here we can see 10-0. So when we divide 20 by 2, there is no remainder, then also we have to write there. Then we have to again divide the 10 by 2. We have to continuously divide the number by 2 until we get a 1 or 0. So again divided by 2, we will get 5. There is no remainder, then also we have to write there 0. Again divide 5 by 2, then we will get a remainder 1, because when we divide 5 by 2, we will get 4. So there will be a remainder called 1. Again divide 2 by 2. Then we will get 1 with the remainder 0. Now we get the binary equivalent of the decimal number 20. That is 10101. Okay. Do you know how we got it? The remainders of this division are the binary equivalent of the decimal number. that we have to write from the bottom to top order. Binary to decimal conversion, which means from a binary number we can find out the decimal equivalent. For example, here we can see 110 with base 2. So it is a binary number. We have to find out the decimal equivalent of 110. The binary number is represented as expanded place values taking base as 2. This will result in its corresponding decimal number. So let's check how to do it. So first let's write down the binary number once more, which is 110. So as I told you, for a binary number it has base 2. So the each numbers should represent as base power of 2. Like 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2. In the case of decimal number, we have started the base from right to left, which means ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, etc. So in the case of binary numbers also, the base power should start from the rightmost digits. So the 2 raised to 0 must be multiplied with 0. 2 raised to 1 we have to multiply with 1. 2 raised to 2 we have to multiply with 1. And finally we have to find out the sum of these digits. I will show you. First 2 raised to 0 into 0. We can see here 2 raised to 0 into 0. Then 2 raised to 1 into 1. This is 2 raised to 1 into 1 plus 2 raised to 2 into 1. Okay. Now let's move to the next step. 1 into 2 raised to 2 means 1 into 4. 2 raised to 2 means 4 plus 1 into 2. 2 means 2 raised to 1 is equal to 2 plus 0. So any number into 0 is equal to 0. So we will get 4 plus 2 equal to 6 with the base 10. So the decimal equivalent of the binary number 110 is 6. MS Excel 2010 is a spreadsheet software which is used for calculations, presentation and analysis of numerical data. The MS Excel consists of various cells. Here we can see each of these boxes are known as cells. A cell is an intersection of a row and a column. Here we can see lot of columns and rows are here. Each of the columns are headed by alphabets and each of the rows are headed by numbers. So the intersection of each row and column is known as a cell. Excel also offers some predefined formulas. The instructions for these formulas are already defined in Excel. We have to select a predefined formula, give the data, and the Excel will be automatically use its defined instructions to calculate the result. So this kind of predefined formula are known as functions, and the data is entered while using a function is known as function argument. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about two types of functions, which are math and trig functions and also statistical functions. So first let's discuss about math and trig functions. In the math and trig functions category, we are going to discuss about four functions: sum, product, quotient and power. Now let's move to the second category of functions, that is statistical functions. In the case of statistical functions, we are going to discuss about four functions: max, min, count and average. The Excel provide a shortcut to insert the most commonly used functions of sum, average, count, max and min. For this, we have to enter the data in a single row or a single column. And in the case of data entered in a row, click on the cell to the right of the last data entered. And in the case of data entered in a column, click on the cell below the last data entered. So first let's check how to get the AutoSum function. For that we have to click on the Formulas tab. And here we have already studied how to insert various functions in the Excel. Like that, next to the insert function tool, we can see an option called AutoSum. And when we click on this arrow, we can see the various functions which can be used for shortcut. Sorting data means arranging the data in ascending or descending order for easy analysis. The Excel has a built-in feature to sort data. In both cases, Excel first sort numbers, then only it follows the letters. So whenever we are sorting the data from Excel, first it will sort the numbers, then only it will sort the letters followed by blank cells. Our next topic is filtering data. A filter is an object that separates a thing that cannot pass through it from the thing that passes through it. By simply we can say the filtering data option shows the required information and hide the rest of the information which we do not want to see. Okay, so we can see or we can show the required information on the screen, and also it is possible to hide the information which is not required. Next, we are going to discuss about the feature conditional formatting. MS Excel gives us an additional formatting feature known as conditional formatting. This feature enables you to apply formatting to only those cells in the worksheet which satisfy a particular condition. So based on a particular condition, we can apply some conditional formatting on the cell. The QBasic can be used to draw figures and diagrams. We can draw different shapes such as line, square, circle and so on. We can also fill in different colors in these shapes. And a computer screen is made up of hundreds of picture elements which are small dots. These are known as pixels. And the number of pixels determines the resolution of the monitor. Higher resolution is better the quality of a picture display. So first let's discuss what is graphics. QBasic has two modes. First one is text mode and second one is graphics mode. The text mode is used to display text on the screen, and the graphics mode is used to display both text and graphics on the computer screen. A computer screen is divided into 25 rows and 80 columns. The top left corner determines the first column and the first row. Like that, it addresses all the columns and rows. And do you know what is a screen command? The screen command is used to change to the different screen modes available in QBasic. Here you can see a table which shows various screen modes available in QBasic. Now let's check what are the different color codes for different colors. In QBasic, we are usually using color code instead of the color name. For each of the colors in a QBasic, we have different color codes. In this table, you can see the color code 0 indicates black color and 1 means blue color. 2 indicate for green color. So in QBasic, we will not mention the color name. Instead, we will use only the color code. The line command is used to draw a line between 2 points. We can see there are 2 syntaxes supported by line command. And the first syntax is line x1 y1 hyphen x2 y2 comma c comma b, where the x1 y1 indicate the starting point of the line and x2 y2 indicate the ending point of the line. And after that we can see 2 more code. First one is C and second one is B. C means the color code. We have already studied that there are 16 colors supported by the QBasic. So for each color we can use the corresponding color code. And we can see one more code, that is B. B stands for box. It is used to draw an empty rectangle with the starting point and ending point. So we can use the code B. Otherwise, if we are omitting the code B, we can draw a simple line. If we are using the code B along with the syntax, we can draw a box. And in the second syntax, there is one more code which is BF. BF means filled box. It is used to draw a filled rectangle with starting point and ending point. So that is the first command. Next, we are going to discuss about the circle command. The circle command is used to draw a circle or an oval shape. We have to define the coordinates of the center, the radius of the circle and also the color. Here we can see this is the syntax of the circle command. First we have to mention circle, then in bracket X and Y, after that R, C, SA and EA. So every code should be separated with comma, where X and Y are the coordinates of the center of the circle, R stands for the radius of the circle, C for the color code. We have studied there are 16 colors supported by QBasic. So according to our wish, we can select the color code for each colors. And finally, the SA stands for starting angle and EA stands for ending angle. In this command, the SA and EA are optional. So while drawing a circle, we can omit that two codes. Our third command name is paint command. The paint command is used to fill an area with the specified color. The syntax of the paint command is paint in bracket X and Y, after that C. X and Y are the coordinates which tell the computer about from where to start the color fill. And C stands for the color code. We can mention the color for filling that particular shape. So these are the various commands that we have studied.